my friends. So today we're going to talk about Keith Haring. And before that, we're going to start with our usual CRPs, Critical Response Protocol. And so we have our following questions today. Please leave your answers for the questions down below. So the first question is, what do you notice? What do you notice while looking at this? Our second question, what does this remind you of? What does this remind you of? How does this make you feel? How does this make you feel? And the last question is, what questions do you have while looking at this? What questions do you have? And the very, very last one, sorry friends, is why do you think this was made? Why do you think this was made? So again, those questions are, what do you notice? What does this remind you of? How do you feel? What questions do you have? And why do you think this was made? Remember, there are no wrong answers, and I'm really excited to see what you all come up with. Bye, my friends. All right, friends, so let's talk about Keith Haring. So this was our CRP, and he is really well known for figure drawing. So he likes to draw figures first, right? And his figures are actually some of the coolest kind of things that he does. He makes them look wacky. He adds also these lines of movement, which are these black lines right here in order to show that they are moving, right? So that is kind of what we're going to be doing this time around. We're going to use these awesome figures, and then we're also using the lines of movement, right, in order to draw these things, right? And I think you guys will really like Keith Haring as an artist. He is still alive. He's doing some really cool stuff still. So yeah, I hope you guys do well. And tell me what you learned about Keith Haring. Bye, friends. All right, friends. So we kind of have to start thinking about figures first before we can kind of dive into Keith Haring, right? And the idea is that figures, right, can do lots of movement. So we are going to do a kind of exercise where you're going to find somebody and you're going to draw them moving, right? So you can have them be standing and then you can draw them. So I'm going to do that with my husband. He's off screen, and I'm going to draw what I see from him. So I'm going to do this quick so I see his head, and then I see a neck, and he has his arms kind of on his hips, and then I see that he has a torso and has his legs kind of spread apart, and boom, quick, right? And the thing is, with Keith Haring's portraits, they're all kind of bent. They have lines of movements to them, right? And this was just very quick. Now, usually when we talk about proportion, we also talk about how everybody is made out of 7 heads equally, right? We're not going to focus on that just because we're focusing more on movement than anything else, all right? So I can do another one. So he's still moving. Now I can see that he's moved to where he's kind of have his arms up, almost like he's running, right? And this is where you guys can have a lot of fun. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? But you guys are doing that, right? You can even have another one, right? So I can practice yet again. And his pose right now is that it looks like he's kind of like holding a cup, and he's kind of just standing with this. So this one, not very movement forward, right? So I want to show that he's doing something, right? So maybe this is like an action movement. So he goes boom, boom, boom kind of thing, right? So that's the idea of movement. Now, if you want to add movement lines, we got to think what part of our body is moving, right? So is it the arms are moving in? And now are they moving out for this one? And oh, look, we got these moving here, right? So lines of movements are all about which part of the body are moving. All right, so I'm kind of excited to see how you work with a partner and see how your lines of movement and your characters are moving. All right. And that's going to be it for today. Hope I see you all soon. Bye. All right, friends. So now this is where we're going to actually make our Keith Haring art. Now this is kind of similar to when we were doing our Andy Warhol art. We're going to split our paper in half twice, right? So I got my 4 boxes, okay? And yet again, you can use a partner as your way to show, okay, what actions do I want to do? And remember, your partner has to think about some fun actions to do, right? So maybe your partner has their hands up, and the one hand up in the air, maybe another hand kind of straight out. And then maybe they're kind of doing like an action pose, right? Now we got to think, where are the lines of movement here? What are the things moving? Our knees are moving, and our hands for sure, right? This is staying still. All right, let's think what else we got. We can have a person who looks like they're running, right? Got a neck. We are just drawing our hands going back and forth, right? We got some of our awesome movement here with our runners, okay? Maybe they're on their knee, right? So I see that this one, they're on their knee. I'm doing a little bit of a line movement there, and on there too, right? Almost looks like that person's proposing, right? And maybe this one, it looks like they're dancing. So maybe their hands are out. And maybe they have some cool, like, leg stuff going on, right? Oh, I get it now. Look, they have their leg up, right? Like, kind of like a yoga pose. So we got some of that, and also some of that on their knee, right? And the fun thing about these characters is that they are not really detailed as far as the head or like the features or anything like that. It's detailed as far as the movement goes. And it's detailed as far as, you know, making them look interesting, right? Now, if somebody is able to do a handstand, that's super cool. I love the handstand kind of movements. My biggest thing is if we are doing this in school, you have to be safe. And I am not a fan of if we're not safe, right? So look at that. So this person looks like they're kind of just raising their hand, right? So I'll add some kind of line movements there. And that's it for today. We're just going and showing that line movements. We're just showing the figures. We're not doing any details to them, all right? And that's it. So I hope you guys have fun with this project, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye. All right, friends, so here comes the coloring. If you want to use more than 4 colors, go for it. This isn't pop art. It can definitely look like pop art. But if you want to use different colors, you can have like a whole rainbow of them. I will say you should have at least 4 colors while doing this though. And of course, we're always using craftsmanship in order to make it clear, right? So for this one, I am just coloring in my character. And then I also want to color in the background too. And remember, I'm always making sure I don't have any white spots. I'm making sure that I go all the way up to the other color. Now you saw just then that I colored over my line of movement. The reason why is because, I'm just going to pretend now that I finished coloring all that area, is because I'm going to go back over it with a black marker. I'm using a Sharpie right now, and I'm just going to use that to kind of make sure that it's there, right? And I'm going to do that with the whole thing, right? And in the end, you can have yours look like mine, where, you know, it kind of has more of that 4-color feel. You can make yours rainbow, right? It's up to you. I just want to make sure that you have it colored all the way through and that it is beautifully colored. Sound good? And I hope to see you all soon. Bye, friends.